Solo Leveling episode 3. And man, what an episode, what a great episode. I think I started the previous review saying the same, but I mean, I cannot say it enough because every episode until now, the third episode has been more than great, has been excellent. And I have to say that this episode surprised me a lot. Not because of one thing, but because a whole lot of things that happened in this episode, I was not expecting them to happen. For starters, and the most obvious thing that was surprising to me was that of the episode starting the way it did. I was actually expecting the anime to start where it left, in the dungeon, with Jin-Woo struggling, about to die, maybe something was about to happen that we didn't know. But that was not actually the case, because as we saw, the episode started with him in the hospital. So that alone was a big surprise for me. I know I saw in the last episode that there was a pop-up message, a screen, whatever you want to call it. I knew that, but I didn't know that entailed that he was going to be somehow out of the dungeon, specifically the room they were in. But yeah, he was somehow out of the dungeon when the episode started, and yeah, he was taken then to the hospital, and there he was treated, and the typical stuff. And then after that, we saw how two people, I think it was called the surveillance team or something like that, came to talk with Jin-Woo about what happened inside the dungeon, because they were a little bit curious because they didn't know what exactly happened in there, because he survived and a lot of people died. Basically everyone died but sick. So yeah, they were even sort of contemplated that he had something to do with it. Maybe he did something evil, something twisted for the other people to die. But of course that was not the case, as we all know. And yeah, we saw how they mentioned that maybe he got a second awakening, and that is how they were able to survive, because apparently if you get a second awakening, you immediately go up to level or rank A, rank S adventurer. So maybe he did get a second awakening, or maybe not, because as it was shown in this episode, he had only 10 mana or something like that. But yeah, we don't know if he got a second awakening or what. Could it perhaps be that the messages he's getting, him being a gamer, whatever that means, is him being, or him awakening a second time? Maybe that could be, although it could just perfectly be another whole different thing, this interface, this mini game or game that Jin-Woo is playing, because I mean, it doesn't look like a special ability or anything like that. It is more of a general thing, because in that game that Jin-Woo is, I don't know how to call it, to be honest, a game, an interface, but I think I will be calling it a game. So yeah, let's talk about this interface, this game that Jin-Woo is in, because now he's a player. And it is actually a pretty cool concept to see, this whole interface, this whole him being a player and him getting missions or quests daily. I think they're daily, but yeah, him getting these quests and rewards and penalties. I like that whole idea. I wasn't sure what it was going to be when I saw it in the previous episode. I had no idea that it was going to be like this. So yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised by this introduction of this system. And yes, we saw he gets quests, and in those quests he has to do push-ups, sit-ups and things like that for him to get stronger, because yeah, he does need to get stronger. He's a rank E adventurer after all. But just in this episode alone, I'm surprised that he got way stronger. I know he's coming from a rank E place, so getting stronger from that place is not saying that much, because again, he's a rank E adventurer. But still, him setting his points on strength got him a lot stronger. And we can see that when he was fighting the goblins, because now he is able to take down 3 of them. Before, he wasn't even able to take down 1. So that tells you a lot about how quickly he's improving. I know that to some of you that may not seem a lot, but I actually think it is, because I think that the improvement we saw in this episode was a lot. And definitely in the next couple of episodes, we will definitely see more of an improvement, more of an obviously apparent one to all of us. But yeah, it was actually pretty nice to see. So yeah, in those quests that he received, he gets a couple of rewards. One of them is being instantly healed or recover, whatever you want to call it. And the other one is, of course, getting points to assign to different things. As we see in this episode, he currently is assigning them only to strength. Probably in the next episode, he's going to apply them more evenly. And the last one was getting some random, basically, object. In this episode, we saw how he got a key. And that key, as we saw at the end of the episode, was for an instance dungeon, whatever that means, which is basically a dungeon in another dimension or universe. And yeah, Jin-Woo goes in there at the end of the episode. But before I talk about that, I think that the girl that came with Jin-Woo's sister will actually become an adventurer, or at least she will be important to the plot, to the story, because yeah, she has been shown a couple of times. So yeah, I think she has something to do with the plot. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think we will see also more of her in the upcoming episodes. Oh, and something that I almost forgot to mention about the interface that Son Jin-Woo interacts with is that he also has other windows that are for abilities and for storage. So I think those are also going to be shown in the next episode probably, especially the storage one, which is basically like its name implies to have storage. And the abilities one is probably one he will acquire by maybe getting rewards by defeating the dungeon or directly by defeating the monster, something like that. So yeah, at the end of the episode we see how Son Jin-Woo goes into this dungeon and he gets a message that he cannot leave the dungeon unless he clears the dungeon or has a teleporting stone or whatever it is called. So yeah, he basically has to clear the dungeon now unless he gets a stone. Yeah, we see that inside the dungeon you have different types of enemies, and one of the enemies that we saw that Son Jin-Woo is going to fight in the next episode is this big wolf. And I mean, yeah, this big wolf is apparently stronger than the goblins. I don't know exactly if Son Jin-Woo gets stronger with each enemy he defeats, or if it's something that, you know, he has to clear first the dungeon and then he gets more powerful. Maybe the points are only given by the system if he does a certain quest and not necessarily by killing monsters and things like that. I would think that is not the case. I think that with each monster he defeats, he gets a little bit stronger. Maybe not necessarily he gets points, but maybe he does, you know, get stronger in some way, or maybe he does get points, who knows. Another thing that happened in the episode that I quickly want to mention is that of Cha basically having a command of a B rank mission. I don't know where that is going. I don't know if we're going to see that in the next episode, but yeah, it was mentioned in the episode that now she will be kind of an instructor or something like that. And also we saw how Joo-hee is traumatized and she even goes to visit Son Jin-Woo at the hospital, but she leaves for some reason. Maybe by seeing Son Jin-Woo being very active, maybe she got the courage to go to the dungeon that the other adventurers wanted her to go to. I think it was a rank D dungeon. So yeah, that was basically everything that happened in the episode. Another great episode, and if you don't want to miss the next episode review, please subscribe. Also give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the episode. And yeah, that will be everything by me, and I guess I'll see you all in the next episode review.